Well, if you're a team in the NBA and you just started tanking for draft picks, you just started the process, it's too late, Chief. That dream of building a team through the NBA draft just might be dead. Yo, what is up guys? It's me, Zach Lee, and the NBA is trying to kill tanking. We got hit with a couple of wash bombs yesterday. Normally that means that a player is about to be traded or a player is about to sign with a team during free agency. However, yesterday it was neither of those things. This time, it had to do with some upcoming changes that the NBA are trying to implement. Yesterday, he tweeted out that the NBA is pursuing a vote on the NBA draft lottery reform before the start of the season. Commissioner Adam Silver is a strong advocate to de-incentivize tanking by implementing lower odds on the NBA's worst teams to gain the top picks in the draft. What that means is that basically the worst team in the NBA, the team with the worst record in the league, would normally have a 25% chance of landing the #1 overall pick in the draft. The #2 worst team would have about a 20% chance. The #3 worst team would have a 15% chance, and so on down the list. However, with these changes, the NBA wants to change that. So like all of the top 5 worst teams in the NBA have the exact same chances of getting the #1 pick. On top of that, the first, second, or third worst team in the NBA couldn't fall below the 4th pick in the draft. Well, yeah, after this, those teams will be able to fall to like 6 or 7 in the draft. The other part of what the NBA is trying to implement is that no team will be allowed to have a top 3 pick in the draft 2 years in a row. So if you get the first, second, or third pick in the draft one year, the highest you'll be able to pick in the draft the next year is 4. This is pretty much the Philadelphia 76ers rule. They had been in the top 3 since what, like the past 4 years, I think? Yeah, Embiid, Simmons, Fultz, Okafor, all those guys were taking top 3. So yeah, Philly got their picks, finished processing. They are 100% loaded and ready to play, but they ruined it for all the other teams that had just started the process. How would this actually affect other things in the NBA though? Would this be good or bad? It's kind of hard to say. I know right now these changes don't sound like the most catastrophic things that could happen, but they will have a serious domino effect on some other things in the NBA. For example, let's talk about trading draft picks. Draft picks are considered to be one of the most valuable things your team can trade away. And if you're trading for a draft pick right now that is seen as being like a top 3 pick, take the Brooklyn picks for the past couple of years, for example, it's going to take a lot to get that pick off the team that has it. You just saw the whole Kyrie Irving trade. The Cavs traded away Kyrie Irving to the Boston Celtics because they wanted that Brooklyn pick. Those picks are extremely valuable. If these changes go through though, they won't be nearly as valuable. Right now, most people believe that the Brooklyn picks the Cavs just traded for will be a top 5 pick at worst. Could be a top 3, or heck, it could even end up being #1 in the draft. We all know that Cleveland has some unbelievable luck when it comes to the lottery. Anyways, top 5 at least, but that's with the way things are now. However, if this change goes through, that pick could fall to like #7 or something, even if the Nets are still a top 5 worst team in the NBA. Picking #7 isn't bad, but you won't get the same player you're planning on getting when you thought you were going to be in the top 5. So this would depreciate the trade value of draft picks, which is a huge deal. And I'm not sure if it does pass, if it will take effect immediately, because if it does, then there are going to be some teams that just got seriously screwed over. For example, I don't know, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They just traded for this Brooklyn pick. They traded Kyrie Irving for this Brooklyn pick with the thought that it had a high chance of being at least a top 5 pick in the upcoming draft. However, if this goes through and that's no longer the case, and LeBron James leaves, Isaiah Thomas leaves, and you traded Kyrie Irving for this pick, then now it's like the 7th or 8th or 9th pick in the draft, you can say goodbye. The magnitude of the L that you just took is beyond recovery. There's no coming back from that. You guys won't be relevant for at least the next 20 years. Speaking of relevancy, the Brooklyn Nets, if these changes go through, by the time they are able to get a draft pick, the draft pick they get won't be that good. So y'all can probably say goodbye too. So that's one way that this affects the NBA. The other way is that it would kind of hurt some of these smaller market teams. Right now, their only chance of getting a superstar player is through the draft, because you're not going to see Kevin Durant decide to go sign with the New Orleans Pelicans or LeBron James sign with the Utah Jazz. It would never happen. If these smaller teams can't even be guaranteed a good pick in the draft, or being one of, if not the worst team in the NBA, then how on earth are they ever going to get a superstar or a franchise player? They can't even use picks as bait to trade for a star player anymore, since they aren't seen as valuable as they were before. It is up until after the lottery. Once the order is determined, that's when kind of teams will be able to place value on the draft picks, since they will know exactly how high the pick they are trading for is. As for the not being able to pick top 3 in the draft 2 years in a row thing, I actually like that. I think it is a really good idea. I don't think it's right for a team to have back-to-back top 3 picks in the draft just because they lost an extra 2 or 3 games to the team that has been picking 5th or 6th in the draft for the past couple of years. This way it's like, all right, you had your chance at a top 3 draft pick. You got what you got. If it's a bust, that's on you, but now you gotta go pick 4th, 5th, or 6th. And the people that picked 4th, 5th, or 6th last year, here's your chance at a top 3 draft pick. I really like that idea, and I do think that would be a good change. So those are the changes and how they would affect the NBA. But these aren't official yet. They are just the NBA suggested changes that they want to make. You know when you're playing 2K and it's the off season, and during the off season you have to vote on all these things, changes to the game, and you say no to all of them? Yeah, that's basically what this is. There'll be this board of GMs and coaches who will get together next week and vote on a bunch of stuff, and this will be one of the things they vote on. And they can of course say, yeah, we like all of it, let's do that. Or they could say, yeah, we like the idea, but let's change up a few things. So they pass it through but modify. Or they could say, we like this part, we hate that part, so we're gonna use this but not use that. For example, we like that no teams can pick top 3 in the draft 2 years in a row, but the rest of the stuff is garbage, get that out of here. Or of course, they could also laugh at the entire thing and just say no. But until they do that, we will never know, so we just have to wait like a week or so until they do vote on these changes. And then we will know for sure whether or not the NBA's plan to get rid of tanking is finally going to work. Question of the daytime: what do you guys think about these changes? Let me know down in the comment section below, but now let's take a look at what you guys said in yesterday's video. And yesterday, I asked you guys what you think the worst offseason move that was made this summer is, and here is what you said. Question of the day: Paul George trade by far. They traded him for an empty Pringles can and 3 Skittles. Question of the day: I think the dumbest move of the offseason is the Avery Bradley for Marcus Morris trade, because now that they lost Jay Crowder, they don't have a good shooting guard to pair with Kyrie except Jaylen Brown, who is still very young. I think it was the Bulls selling their draft pick that eventually turned into Jordan Bell for $3.5 million. For a team in rebuild mode, it's sensible to collect all the young talent you can possibly get. Thank you! Thank you for saying that. I was hoping, praying that I would see someone mentioning the Chicago Bulls selling a draft pick for $3.5 million to the Golden State Warriors. That was one of the worst draft days I have ever seen a team do. Not only did they sell that draft pick, but in the Jimmy Butler trade, they gave up a draft pick along with Jimmy Butler. It just made no sense. But that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more daily NBA videos. And until tomorrow, keep getting the bucks, Team STC, and I'm out of here.